In the last stream, we were working on a couple of things. We got creative mode flight, which is lovely. We got our water mills up and running. We also began work on plastic production over here with our tree fluid extractor and our latex processing unit. We got a bunch of oak logs, put them into the block placer, and since the end of the last stream, we have managed to acquire 5,505 tiny dry rubber. All of the logs are gone. And so now we can go ahead and take that, craft that up, I believe in a 3x3 crafting grid, not a 2x2 one. So over here, we can do something like this, get the tiny dry rubber, and then put that into a furnace to get plastic. And that opens up a whole new door of mods to us in the form of industrial foregoing. And so I think the first thing that we're going to make, the first machine that I would like to make from industrial foregoing is the crusher. And the reason I want to make the crusher, which isn't too difficult to make actually, it does require another machine frame, which we might have, we don't. We do need to get some more indium, which I think we do have. And I might as well go ahead and make a few ingots there. And you know what, I'll take even more. I'll take 2 stacks of indium because we are going to need quite a few machine frames, I think, in today's stream, and then some scandium on top of that. But the crusher can be used to generate mob essence, which we're going to use hopefully later on today in a mob duplicator to spawn some mobs. And the reason for that is that I would like to get a data model for witches. So we started working a few streams back on deep mob learning, and in the last stream we finally got a few of our data models up to the advanced tier, and we began running them through the simulation chamber, getting pristine matter. And between streams we have managed to get some blaze and creeper matter to the point where I believe now we can complete the final quest in chapter 4, and we should be able to head on through to the nether. So we have the 8 skeleton, we have the 8 zombie, we have the 8 creeper, we have the 8 blaze, and so making the end cake here really shouldn't be too bad. We need 4 lithium, or 4 stacks of lithium, all the matter, and then a cake. I do believe we already have cake. Yeah, we've received cake a few times as a reward from the pink loot crits, I believe. Yeah, you can get cake as a 2.2% drop chance, and so we do have a few cakes ready to go. Lithium is really not too bad, not too hard to come by. You can find it in the deep dark, and then you can just run that through the old chemical dissolver to get actual lithium, which thankfully I believe we do already have in the system. And then from there, that should be pretty much everything to make ourselves the end cake, which of course is done in the chemical combiner. Why wouldn't it be done in the chemical combiner? Let me grab all of the resources there real quick and then take that out and do something like this. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, cake, matter, 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 and boom, look at that, we get an end cake, beautiful. And we do also get a overworld cake, I believe, as a reward here. We do. It says, warning, if ingested, consumer can experience dimensional phasing. And then the quest here is to eat the cake and enter the end. So there's actually no quest to fight the dragon. I believe we could just go through to the end to complete this quest and then come right back. In fact, because we're on a server, the dragon has been fought a few times already, and so if we want to resummon the dragon, I think we will have to get some crystals. And of course, we could put down the overworlding cake to get back, but we could also go ahead and type in /home, and that will get us back just as easily. And we'll come back to the end, I think, in a bit. I don't really need to I don't think we need to worry about that too much just yet, because what I want to work on today is I want to work on power. The plan is to get a crusher initially, and to put the crusher down in front of the mob spawner. I think we're going to temporarily get rid of these spikes because the crusher is going to kill the mobs and it's going to produce mob essence, which we can use in a mob duplicator to spawn witches. The reason I want to spawn witches is that if you use a witch data model in the loot fabricator, you can get redstone, right? If we look at pristine witch matter, this stuff right here, if we run that through the loot fabricator, we can get infinite redstone. And we can use that redstone alongside our pre-existing data model for blazes to make pyrotheum. The recipe for pyrotheum is pretty easy. 2 blaze powder, 1 sulfur, and 1 redstone. Both blaze powder and sulfur you can get through the data model for blazes, and then redstone we can get through the data model for witches. The reason I want blazing pyrotheum is that I believe it is one of the best, if not the best fuel that you can put into this guy, the Petrified Generator. which is an item that has been, or generator, I should say, that has been recommended to me over and over and over and over again by both people in the YouTube comments and here on Twitch. This is a pretty nifty generator, and we can produce a ton of power with it, hopefully automatically, using Pyrotheum Dust. So that is my plan here. And to get that plan started, we do need a crusher, because essentially my plan is to get the crusher going and to hopefully get a nice backlog of mob essence so that when it comes to spawning witches, we can hopefully spawn those witches quite quickly. We did just acquire some of the indium and scandium ingots, so hopefully we are pretty close to being able to make a machine frame here. I will go ahead and make a couple of gears. Like I said, I do want to make a few machines. I'll bookmark the mob crusher actually, and we'll also go ahead and bookmark the mob duplicator, which I believe does also require a machine frame. Yeah, it does. So we are going to need both of those today. So let's go, boom, and hopefully, I think we do need 2 books here. Thankfully, we can make books in this pack with the Tinker's recipe, which is significantly easier, given that it doesn't require leather, although we could make leather, I think, fairly easily with protein if we wanted to. 1, 2, and boom. Yeah, we need some gold gears. But at that point, we should be pretty much good to go. We do also need an iron sword, but that is not going to be a problem for us. And then the final piece of the puzzle, actually, is going to be getting power over to the crusher. And for now, I think we're going to do that with just a long flux duct, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get you back in there. Right now, I don't think we have that many flux ducts. We don't. We have 1 leadstone flux duct left, which is less than ideal, but we should be able to make more of these fairly easily. They're just lead, redstone, and glass. And in reality, it doesn't really matter where we put the crusher. I was going to put it on the front here, but given that we have power right here, I guess we could put the crusher kind of just right here. Like I said, I do want to get rid of those diamond spikes, because of course we don't want our mobs being killed by those. At the same time, I do think it's quite possible that the crusher, the mob crusher, might kill the mobs before they get to the diamond spikes, because the crusher is quite fast. So let me put down the crusher first. We'll see how fast it is. If it's fast enough, then maybe we can leave the spikes where they are just to make life a little easier going forward. But if it's not fast enough, we can always tweak that and, get rid of the spikes if necessary. So let's put this down here. Now, by default, this doesn't have a huge area of effect. If we show the working area here, you'll see it only works in the kind of 1 block area in front of the crusher, which is less than ideal. If we want to cover the whole of the mob spawner, we're going to have to make some range add-ons. So these range from range +1 all the way up to range +12. And I believe for us, we're only going to need maybe like range +4, I think should do it. Taking it up to the full range there. We might go a bit bigger just in case. Maybe we'll go with like range +5. None of these are too difficult to make. It's just a glass pane, some plastic, and some copper. Thankfully now we do have a bunch of plastic ready to go. And so, you know what? Let's actually go maybe a little further, like silver. You know what? We can do nether quartz, actually. We've got a bunch of nether quartz. So we'll take the +9 range add-on. That is going to kill mobs in a much larger area than I currently would like, but no mobs are likely to spawn in this extra area around here. So this should be fine for the time being. And now if we go ahead and do something like this, we should hopefully see, yeah, the mobs getting killed by the crusher, and hopefully we should see some mob essence spawning in there. Now, I guess it would actually probably make a lot more sense for me to put this up front, because I could then hook it up to the pre-existing gold chest. And so you know what? This is obviously a temporary solution. I don't want to have the mob crusher killing the mobs kind of full time. And so I think what I might do, even though it's going to look a little janky here, chat, is probably put this like here. That should continue to get the mob essence, but it also should allow us to grab some item ducts and of course a servo, and then still pump all of the mob drops around into that gold chest there. And actually we're going to need 2 item ducts here, but that is fine. Something a little bit like that. And then if we start to extract, ignored, that should hopefully start to pump all of the items here out around into the chest, and they should still get sorted and organized as they normally would. But we should slowly but surely back up on fluid here, so that hopefully later on in today's stream we can use that fluid in the mob duplicator. So let's go ahead and unsure the working area. Let's also go ahead, I think, and put down a tank, just so we can get hopefully a slightly larger backlog of fluid as well. Now, in fact, I might go with like an open blocks tank here. The simple reason being that we don't... These are very cheap. is the main reason. And I believe each tank can hold 16 buckets, I think. So I think we have 32 buckets worth of storage in these two tanks here. They're not quite as versatile as the portable tank from Thermal Expansion. You can't like auto-eject from them and whatnot, but they are very cheap to make. And so I think if we just take these and then maybe take, you know, a fluid duct and a servo, we should be able to store a nice buffer of mob essence in these tanks. And these tanks are also combinable, so you can combine two tanks together like that, and that will form one tank multi-block, which is pretty nice as well. So if we go ahead and set out to extract, there we go. We should be able to hold, I think, quite a nice amount of liquid essence in there. And again, it does seem like the crusher is going fast enough to where it's killing the mobs before they get to the diamond spikes. I think mostly because the vector plates that we're using here are not that quick. So while we wait for that to fill up on mob essence, I have been working between streams on just some ideas. This is not like a final design or anything, but of course, up until now, we've been kind of just throwing things down kind of haphazardly, right? We have our storage drawers, we've got our chest, we've got just like some random portals, we've got this salt just hanging out in the middle here, and I've been kind of thinking about how I want to build a base and what I want the base to look like, and unfortunately, we don't really have too many mods installed that add kind of custom blocks. We don't have chisel, for example. We do have chisel and bits, which is interesting, but one mod that we do have is a mod called Zen Craft, which is this mod right here, which has some pretty cool kind of like neon, blocks down here, which I kind of like the look of. And I think I might go with kind of an antimatter / neon, look to our base. And if we're going to get into this mod, you need quite a lot of Zen Crystals, these guys right here. Now, we do have some, and you do find them in the deep dark. So when you're mining, you will occasionally come across this Zen Ore, which I think we might have seen, in the past. And in fact, I'll go ahead and show you some of this real quick. This stuff right here. So this is the Zen Ore that I've been harvesting, and you can use it to get Zen Crystals. But of course, if we want to use a lot of Zen blocks, if you want to do some building out of it, I don't really think that kind of mining like I have been here to try and get a large amount of the crystals is really that viable. They're not super rare or super common, really, but they're also not found in large quantities, right? Like we found kind of like 3 clusters here, and we've managed to get 15. There's like another one kind of right here as well. That might take us up to about 20, but it's not crazy good. And it looks like you can use the crystals to make like Zen Saplings, which you can then use to get more. So these guys right here are made with any sapling and then 8 Zen Crystals. If we throw this down, I'm hoping my speedy gas helps with the growth of this sapling here. It does. And then you get these like Zen trees here, which in and of themselves look pretty nice. I might just put a few of these kind of around the base. But if we tear one of these down, I am hopeful that we'll get more Zen saplings back. We did. What we can do from there is we can smelt those Zen saplings, I think, into Zen, or you can craft them even into Zen crystals. And you can also do the same with the leaves, actually. You can craft these into Zen crystals, and if we actually had a shear, we could most likely go ahead and just take all those leaves down and very quickly get large amounts of Zen crystals. I think that's definitely the way to go about it, as opposed to trying to mine. And of course, we could, like we've done with other saplings, put down like a large number of them and try and grow them all at once. But if we do something like this, we can get all of those leaves. And then if we do something like that, we can get a bunch of Zen crystals nice and quickly. And from there, I think the only thing that we need, if I was to actually get some Zen blocks, is this guy, the Zen Crafting Table, which you can then also craft into the Zen Crafting Tablets, which I think I definitely will do. It seems like a more convenient way of crafting. And so if I get one of those and then craft it into the old tablet form, which does require Zen ingots, which are Zen crystals crafted. So let's go ahead and put 8 or 7 crystals in there. And then let's also craft a block of glowstone as well. Perfect. While we wait for those to smelt, we can take the crafting table out here, and I can show you how this guy works. So if we throw this down, to make this work, you do need first to get some Zen stone, which is just any kind of stone. I think cobblestone does work here. It does with Zen crystals. We can then come over to the Zen crafting table, and you can select a color. There are all of the Minecraft colors in here. And in the top right, you can select your pattern. You'll see in JI here, there are a bunch of different patterns, and you can cycle through those. You have like bricks, and then this like different brick here, these kind of concentric squares, some grids of some description, some kind of like honeycomb style shapes as well. And then all you have to do is put your Zen stone in, and it gets instantly transformed into that that block, right? And you can go ahead and change that if you want. If you want to change it to, something like this, you can then do that and run those two again, and you get those blocks. And so I'm not going to do really any building in today's stream. I don't think. I'll probably do some building between streams on, working on the base and figuring out what I want things to look like. But I think I will incorporate, some of these blocks in the base building, because I think they look pretty cool. I just want to show you guys how to actually get the Zen stuff going, just in case people actually want to do that as well for their own builds. That's how you get started with ZenCraft. Once you've got the saplings and once you've got enough cobblestone to make all of the Zen stone, it's really not too difficult to make. And in fact, now that we have those 7 Zen ingots, we can even go so far as to make that Zen crafting table, at which point, of course, then you can just do it in your inventory, which is also super nice as well. So I think that's really the only, one of the only kind of decorative blocks or decorative mods that we have in the pack. There are, of course, other mods that add blocks that can be used for decoration, but we don't have a ton of them in the pack. But either way, now that slight tangent is over, what I want to do here, like I said, I want to get a witch data model. And one thing that we can do to speed up getting a data model is we can get a glitch sword. If we hover over this, it says it has the bonus effect of being a quick learner. It says data gained from the demise of a mob is doubled. When data is gained, there will also be a small chance that the sword will get a permanent damage increase. So using this sword, which is from Deep Mob Learning, if we kill mobs with it, not only over time is the sword going to get stronger, but we can also use the sword to kind of effectively level up our data models twice as fast, right? In a standard data model, if we were to look at the skeleton here, if we wanted to get up to the next tier, which is superior, we have to kill 21.7 more skeletons. If we were to use the glitch sword, that would come down to 11 skeletons, right? Which makes it hopefully much quicker, and especially given that with the witches, the way that we're planning to spawn them is via the mob spawner, we kind of want to try and reduce the number of witches that are needed to get up to the highest levels of data model. If we're going to get the glitch sword, it's actually a little tricky, because the glitch sword requires 2 glitch-infused ingots, which are made by stabilizing unstable glitch fragments, as you can see right there. If we click on it and we go to the information tab, it says TLDR, drop some fragments, lapis, and gold into a body of water and hope for the best. So glitch fragments are these guys right here. And you'll see these are obtained, or these can be crafted by crushing a corrupted glitch heart against some obsidian. The corrupted glitch heart is right here. And you'll see it says drops from system glitches. So this is where the trial keystone comes in, and we do need to have, the way this works essentially is we make a trial keystone, we make a trial key, we then do have to have, I believe, a self-aware data model. If we kill a mob of the same type of the self-aware data model that we have while we have the trial key on us, we can then go back to the trial keystone and begin a trial, which is essentially a few waves of mobs that will come at you. You have to fight them. If you defeat the trial, you get drops. For example, pristine zombie matter, and crucially for us, you get corrupted glitch hearts, which we can use to get the glitch-infused sword. For us right now, all we need is a trial keystone, which is this guy right here, which I think we should be able to make. We do need to get another, well, first of all, we need to make a trial key, and in fact, we are going to have to make 2 of those, I do believe. And we're going to have to make 1 more of these soot-covered machine frames, but I do think that we have a little bit in the way of signalum left in our smeltery over here. We do, yeah. Now, people in the Twitch chat have pointed out that my helmet is broken. It is indeed. And I did have to repair it between streams, because what I have done, of course, if we're going to fight the trial, we need a self-aware data model. And so what I've done is, if you look in the top left there, you'll see that my zombie data model is only 3 kills away from self-aware. I've killed a bunch of zombies between streams, which is why my helmet is broken. I spent a bunch of time in the deep dark with that night vision on, and I did have to repair the helmet a few times, and the way that you can repair the helmet is with this guy, the polishing kit cast. So it's made in the exact same way as you've made all the other casts before. You come over to the stencil table, you make a polishing kit stencil, you then make a cobblestone variant, you pull gold over it to make the cast, and then you can pull, for example, manulin out into that cast to make a polishing kit for the helmet, at which point we can craft the helmet with the polishing kit and we actually repair it. It's useful for the short term, but in the long term, I still very much so do want to try and get these up to a level where we have enough modifiers to make them unbreakable, especially the helmet. Like the fact that the night vision drains so much like durability, I very much so would like to get unbreaking on that, but that is a problem for future Isaac. For now, let's go ahead and grab that signalum gear, like so, and let's quickly see if we can't make the molybdenum and the soot-covered plates here. And there we go. That should be, hopefully, everything we need for the soot-covered machine casing, just as soon, of course, as we grab the signalum. And at that point, we should also have everything that we need for the Keystone. We do, nice. So this does have to be in a fairly open space. We'll put it down kind of just like over here for now. And then, like I said, before we can actually finish that, we do have to finish leveling up our zombie data model. So I have to head through to the Deep Dark, and we need to kill 3 zombies, which is really not too many, I don't think. And actually, we can probably accomplish 2 things at once here. If we can get a mob imprisonment tool, which is a fairly easy item, but you need this to capture the mob that you want to duplicate with the mob duplicator. Now, to make it, we do need a ghast here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly head on through to the nether. We're going to try and get a ghast here. Once we have that ghast here, we can then make a mob imprisonment tool. We'll then go through to the Deep Dark to kill the final 3 zombies. And we can also, while we're there, look to see if we can't find a witch, because witches do spawn occasionally in the Deep Dark. And that way we can kind of, you know, complete 2 things at once there. You can craft the ghast here. Is it easy? It's actually not too bad, now that you mention it. That looks very doable, actually. And it's probably a lot quicker than us trying to find a ghast. We just need some hellish matter, which I think we should have over here, thanks to our Blaze data model. So that is 3 ghast tiers right away. And boom. Nice. Okay, let's head on back through to the Deep Dark and see if we can't find both a witch and 3 zombies to kill. So this guy should be my last zombie kill. I believe it is. Yeah, there we go. My zombie data model has reached self-aware. Okay, he is done for. That's grand. Are there any witches about? Target acquired. All you gotta do is just right-click. And there we go. We have a witch in our mob imprisonment tool. Nice. So at that point, we should now be able to spawn a witch should we get the mob duplicator, which I don't think is going to be too bad. We can make emeralds. We've made them before. They are a bit of a pain, but they should be very doable. Other than that, we're just missing another machine frame, which again should be actually very easy for us. And yeah, at that point, the only thing that we're missing is the emerald. And so the question becomes, do we have beryl, chromium, and vanadium? We have some vanadium. We have a bit more beryl. And then chromium, we do have quite a bit of. So it's really just the vanadium that we're missing, because again, we only need 2 of them here. So where are we getting vanadium from? We're getting it from purple antimatter, which is actually very doable. And again, I don't really think we need that much vanadium either, right? We need 8. So yeah, I think that should be enough for... oh, that's beryllium, not beryl. We need beryl, which is acquired from prismarine. I'm going to make some prismarine with our overworldium matter, and then break that down. That gets us the beryl we need. At which point, that should be everything. It is. Nice. So if we come back over here, we can go boom, and boom. We have a mob duplicator. So now that we have this keystone, the key is attuned to zombie, key tier superior. I think that's okay. Actually, I might have done this wrong now that I think about it. I think what we might have to do is, because I don't know if I can reset this. Because I think what I've done here is I think I killed a mob with the key while my data model was at superior, not self-aware. So I think what we actually have to do is put that key away, get another key. Thankfully, they're not too expensive. They do require 2 diamonds, which is quite pricey, but nothing terrible. I think we then have to kill a zombie, which we can actually do with /back here, I think. And that should be self-aware. You can do it with the non-self-aware key, but you don't get the glitched hearts, is my understanding of it. So let's see if we can't quickly find just one zombie. There we go. That should now be self-aware. It is indeed. Let's go and do a quick /home. And then we should be able to come over here. And I believe either right-click or shift right-click this onto the keystone. Oh, I see. Please insert a attuned trial key. Boom. So the rewards will be 3 corrupted glitch hearts and some pristine zombie matter. Again, if we use the other one, I assume we don't get that. But if we go ahead and click start trial, we do have to stay within the border of the Keystone. But you'll see in the bottom right there, we have waves and opponents. So it tells us there's one opponent to go. That's wave 1 done. Wave 2 is on its way. We have 5 enemies to kill in wave 2. The best way to kill them, I find, is not to throw your sword at them, even though that does make them very scared. And it would appear that we have a brief instance at the worst possible time of server lag. Please, my friends, could we... there we go, hello. That's wave 2 done. There are 7 waves. It's also extremely raining. I think the only... Like, our armor is very good here. I don't think we're at any risk of dying. I think the only way we could possibly die is if we somehow let a very large number of zombies attack us all at once, which I think is highly unlikely. My sword is very low on durability, which is less than ideal. But we're on the last wave. 20 enemies. I should probably have the apples on my, like, offhand, so I can just eat them when I need them instead of having to scroll through my inventory to get them. Oh no, no, no. This could be a problem, chat. This could be a problem. I can't fly. My creative flight has been disabled. This could be bad. The server lag might be helping us a little bit here. And there you go, chat. It's just that easy. So, I believe, what do we have to do with these now? Let's have a look. We are after the glitch sword. So, to get this, we have to crush a corrupted glitch heart against obsidian. I see. So, we might as well use the portal we already have. And just left-clicking that, preferably not into lava, gets you the unstable glitched fragments. And then from there, I believe that it was gold and lapis. If we combine those up in a pool of water, so if you do lapis, gold, and glitch fragments, you only need like one of each, I think, but you can put extra, and I don't think that's a problem. You get glitched ingots. Nice. So yeah, it's 1 gold, 1 lapis, and 1 glitched fragment. You'll see we got most of our lapis and gold back, at which point the glitch sword should be nice and easy to get. And again, this does give us double the kind of data points in the deep learner for every mob that we kill with it. So the plan now is to get a witch data model. This guy right here. So we've got the cobalt, the palladium, the asinine. Let's do you and you. And we also have the slipcover plates. Nice. So if we take that and craft that up with a glass bottle, which we do have, we get the witch data model. And so now, ideally, we want to get this really to as high of a level as we possibly can. And hopefully the glitch sword is going to allow us to do that. We don't have a ton in here. We've got just shy of 15 buckets. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it takes about 250 millibuckets to spawn a witch. So we do actually have quite a few witches here. If that is the case, we've got, what, about 60 witches worth here, which is worth about 120 kills. We might be able to get this up to self-aware. So I think if we just put this down here, I'm going to swap. Actually, I'm not going to swap anything. I'm just going to get another servo. And I would love it if we could get like a higher tier servo than that. Do we have one? We can make some electrum real quick, I think. If we get 2, actually, I think if we get 1 gold and 1 silver, over in the induction smelter, we should be able to make 2 electrum, I think. Nice and quickly. Yeah, cool. So we'll make a reinforced servo. And we'll have that pull from here over into the mob duplicator. The mob duplicator, in here, what we're going to do is we're going to put in the mob imprisonment tool. It's getting power through that leadstone flux duct. And so if we set this to extract, we should be good to go. So let me get the witch data in here. And let me put that in my offhand, just so we can keep track of it. My glitch sword is at the ready. If we set this to extract, we should see witches start to spawn. And the idea here, oh, and actually, I'm going to temporarily turn this off. I'm going to say active without redstone signal because I don't want my witches falling forward and getting killed by the crusher, right? That's all we want. So we can see the level going up, hopefully quite quickly here. We've got 10 to go. We're already at basic. We're heading through to advanced. I think one way that I could make this a little easier on myself is if I just build a bit of a box around the top of that spawner there. They do always, by the looks of it, spawn at the top. So if we just do something, I think even just as simple as that, and then turn this back on, so active or always active, I think we can just have them like stand potentially in that one position, making my life a little easier. So one more witch. We can go ahead and turn this off now, I guess. And there we go. We have a self-aware witch data model. Nice. That was not too bad at all, actually. So now, over in the old simulation chamber, if we were to put in, for example, our witch data model with some polymer clay, which I believe we can make, quite a fair amount of. I did get quite a bit of clay between streams using the coarse dirt method. And you know what, let's go ahead and get like a stack here. Yeah, so we can get quite a bit of clay. We are, of course, going to have to automate the production of polymer clay if we want to automate the using of the witch data model to get pristine witch matter, which is definitely what I want to do. But now that we have this first one here did fail. But we now have a 42% chance, I think it is, of getting pristine matter. Yeah, which is approximately 1 in 2, right? It's quite close to 50%, not exactly 50%, but approximately like 1 in 2, 1 in 2.3 maybe, witches should give us a pristine matter, and then each pristine witch matter can then be used to make redstone, glowstone, or sugar. I think we're going to go with redstone for the most part, but we can use it in a pinch to get extra glowstone as well if we need it. So like I mentioned before, the plan here is to make the Petrified Generator, which I'll also go ahead and bookmark. We can unbookmark the Crusher and the Duplicator now. So the Petrified Generator is, again, not too difficult. We do need 2 more gold gears, which is 8 gold here, over in the old compactor. We also need a furnace, which is nice and easy, and then 1 more machine frame, which is also nice and easy. Perfect. Okay, so we just need those gold gears, which are almost done. Did we upgrade this at all? We did, but we could definitely do with upgrading it again fairly shortly. For now, though, kapow, this is done. And it's actually a pretty interesting generator, because normally the way that generators tend to work is they tend to give you the same amount of redstone flux no matter what fuel you put in them, the same amount of redstone flux per tick, that is. But then they would usually just generate power for longer if you put in better fuel, right? For example, if you were to get like a furnace generator, which we already have, the furnace generator always produces 40 redstone flux per tick no matter which fuel you put in it. It's just some fuels like coal last longer than other fuels like sticks. In the Petrified Generator, I believe all fuels last for the same amount of time. You just get more power if the fuel has a longer burn time. So, for example, if we take a stick, a piece of coal, and then a block of coal, the stick, if we put it in, will produce 5 redstone flux per tick for 37 seconds. So, not a ton of power, but a little bit. If we were to go ahead and just break and replace this, the coal will produce 80 redstone flux per tick for 37 seconds, so the same amount of time, but just, 40 times as much power. And then if we were to break it and replace it again, the block of coal, and this is a bit wasteful, but the block of coal produces 800 redstone flux per tick, so 10 times as much power. Given that it's only 9 times as much coal, that's actually, a net benefit as opposed to just using coal, again, over 37 seconds. So in this scenario, with this generator, you want to try and find the item that has the highest burn time. And I think, for us, one of the highest burn time items, if not the highest burn time item, might be the Pyrotheum. Now, I'm not going to cycle through all of these because it would take forever. I think Coal Coke is actually the highest, maybe at 160, but I think Pyrotheum is not too far behind with 120. Yeah, so it's pretty high. And as I showed at the beginning, we can make Pyrotheum Dust simply using pristine blaze matter and pristine witch matter. which kind of is the plan. And if I quickly grab some Pyrotheum Dust, which I think we should be able to make now fairly easily. The Pyrotheum Dust, which I would like to not waste, produces, I believe, 1,200 redstone flux per tick, which is pretty insane. So, for now I'm going to put this here. We will move it, like, in a mere moments, but let me quickly grab an upgrade kit, if we can, because I think we are definitely going to want to upgrade our energy cell to be able to store more energy, and that does require a bronze gear. Do we have any bronze? We totally do. Nice. So if we do something like that, that should get us 1 bronze gear. We can then do this, and potentially even this. That was a little optimistic, but we can actually get that fairly easily. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get a silver gear, and then let's also grab 2 silver and 2 gold to get 4 more electrum. That should allow us to make the reinforced upgrade there, and both of those can be used over on the energy cell, like so, to increase both the capacity and also to increase the amount of redstone flux that can be sent in and pulled out of that energy cell at any given time. So if we take all of those and do something like this, we can then take it from the 8 million that it can currently hold with 4,000 hours per tick input and output, all the way up to 18 million with 9,000 input and output. And again, if I put in my Pyrotheum now, the Pyrotheum produces 1,200 redstone flux per tick for 37 seconds. Right now, we're producing 240 here, so almost a 6 times increase in the amount of power that we're producing per tick, which is pretty insane. And of course, as you saw, the Petrified Fuel Generator really isn't too difficult for us to make. We could make more of these if we wanted to. And I believe that if we can get polymer clay automated, which as we saw a little bit in the last stream, doesn't look like it's going to be too hard. We can now set up a loot fabricator to make iron with our pristine zombie matter, given that we do have a self-aware zombie data model. Gold we can get from cobblestone if we wanted to. But I think what we are going to do, potentially now in the next stream, is look at getting a laser drill. And this is kind of the precursor for why we need more power in the first place, because the laser drill allows us to generate resources basically at the expense of power. So if we can make the laser drill and get the laser drill down, we can provide it with redstone flux to produce ores, to produce resources that we can then, of course, smelt, pulverize, craft, put in our storage system, all that jazz. And if we're going to be able to power those, we need better power, right? But once we have better power, and once we can power the laser drill, we should then start getting a constant supply, or a more constant supply, of lapis, at which point we should then be able to, hopefully, fairly easily automate the polymer clay. Our blaze data model is not the highest tier it could be. And in fact, I might do a quick detour. I was going to say we could just leave it in the simulation chamber, because it will slowly but surely over time, of course, level up, much like it has already. But given that we have the glitch sword, I feel like we might as well go and kill a couple of blazes in the nether. At that point, we could level this up fairly quickly and get to the point where we're getting blaze rods a lot faster. I think that's definitely going to be worth it. Alright, so I think we now have everything that we need in order to make 2 more loot fabricators. Yeah, so we do have to make 2 of these soot-covered machine casings, but we do have 2 signalum gears. We've got 8 molybdenum ingots, and we have 8 soot-covered redstone. So over here, if we do something like... Oh, is this not a... Oh, it's just a crafting recipe. For some reason, I thought it was a chemical combiner recipe. So if we do this and get 2 of those, we can then go ahead and hopefully make 2 loot fabricators. Are we really out of diamonds? We are fully out of diamonds. Okay. Less than ideal, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks of carbon can create as a diamond over in the old combiner here. Boom. Perfect. Okay, so that should be our second loot fabricator of the craft and our third loot fabricator overall. Let me go and grab that other one real quick. Loot fabricator. So if I remember correctly, the deep mob learning machines can be a bit janky when it comes to their inputs and like where they will accept an input. For now, we're going to go ahead and, of course, take our Blaze and our Witch data models, both of which are now self-aware, which is great. But like I said, I believe that these can only extract and the loot fabricators can only receive on certain sides. So, how do I do this? Let me Let me move these over by one. Let's do like this and this. Let's put in Blaze in here and Witch in here. And for now, I'll put a little bit of polymer clay in both of them. In fact, let's go grab like another stack of polymer clay if we can. And just give those a little bit more clay to work with. From there, I do want to extract from those simulation chambers. So we can probably at this point go and grab this. We can also go ahead and turn this guy off now because we don't need any more liquid essence. We want our mobs being killed by the spikes again. But then over here, we're going to... did I get that server? Oh, no, it got pumped into the chest, I guess. Yeah, there it is. I guess I'll also grab this one. Perfect. So, which direction, chat, do the loot fabricators receive loot into? Do we know? I guess we can test this, right? If we take a hopper here, so can you pump directly into the top of the loot fabricator? If I do this, does that work? That totally works. Can you pump into the side of it? No. So it can only go in through the top there. That's fine. So what I'm going to do here, if we're going to use 3 loot fabricators, again, this is not a permanent place. Like I said, between streams, I'm going to spend some time working on a new base, and I'm probably going to move almost everything into that new base. So anything that we set up here is very temporary, and we're going to redo it and move it fairly soon. So if these can only go in via the top, it's a little janky, but let's do 1, 2, and 3 like this. We're then going to use item ducts to move the stuff from the Blaze simulation chamber over into both of these. Make sure we disconnect that, even though I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think this has the round robin option. Let me check that real quick. If we put this down here, is there a round robin option? There is. So here you can set this to round robin, which means that it's going to send the first pristine matter to like this one, and then the second to this one, and then third to this one, fourth to this one. It'll basically alternate to make sure they all get pristine matter. And then, of course, the witch is going to go straight along up and over into here. And again, a little janky, but extremely temporary. If we do that, and again, set you to extract, we don't have to bother with round robin this time because we want all of the witch matter heading over into here. And so we want one of these making blaze rods and the other making sulfur. And then as soon as we get witch matter in here, we want that making redstone. These all need power. So we do need flux ducts. And we might even need a few more flux ducts here. So let's run, I guess, these also under the ground for now. Actually, can I pick this end cake up, chat? I actually don't know if I can. I'm a little cautious about, we kind of put it down haphazardly, which is probably a terrible idea. So I'm a little wary about breaking that now. I don't think I can break that without just destroying it. But if we do this, we should start to see things getting made. We do indeed. And then I think what we're probably going to do, and again, this is very much so just a proof of concept to show you guys the idea, and then we'll work on making it look better and actually making it, function in a nicer way a little later on down the line. But we're going to pull out of here. So again, do I have to pull out the bottom here, chat, or can I do this? Is my follow-up question. I guess I have a server here. Can I extract from here into the back of that pulverizer? I totally can. Okay, cool. That is then going to turn those blaze rods into blaze powder and also give us a second batch of sulfur, which is also nice. So at that point, I think I'm going to grab a crafter, probably the one from RF Tools if we can make it. It does require 4 steel, which is a little pricey, but I think ultimately perfectly fine. 4 steel is 4 iron, and then 4 batches of pulverized coal. Yeah, we need 16. And we have 22. So let's run those through there. That should then give us everything that we need to build the tier 1 crafter. And for now, I think the tier 1 crafter will be more than good enough. Do we have the crafting tables there? We do not. That is perfectly fine. And very fixable with just a little bit of oak wood. Kaboom. So the idea here is we're going to have this guy maybe like right here. So the way that the crafter works is that you can give it a crafting recipe. For example, we're going to click on this first recipe. We're going to go Pyrotheum. We can shift click in that recipe and hit apply. So now any items that come in here that will make this item will automatically be turned into that item. Again, so long as it has redstone flux. So for now, let's do this. So if we were to, for example, put in redstone, sulfur, and blaze powder, it gets crafted into Pyrotheum Dust here. So what I want to do is put in a little bit of each and then click this Remember Current Items. That way, if I take these items out, there's still... Oh, hold on. Remember Current Items? There we go. That way, there's still, like, these slots here, much like with the storage drawers, unlocking the storage drawers, only redstone, sulfur, and blaze powder can go in these slots. Because if you don't do this, if you don't click the R to remember current items, then it's quite possible that, for example, in our scenario, the whole system could fill up with redstone because we have a lot more redstone than we do sulfur, right? So we could end up in a situation where this is all redstone and the whole system gets backed up. So you want to make sure that you dedicate a slot to each, and then we could, even if we wanted to, just to make things a little cleaner maybe, also go ahead and kind of fill the rest of those slots with cobblestone, like that, and then click R again, at which point these are the only slots that are going to be used. So now, if we put down a item duct here and set this side to extract, so we can actually send both here, and we do want to make sure the auto output is enabled. That's going to send both blaze powder and sulfur over into these slots. We then want to have one item duct here, which we're going to extract from, and then I guess 3 more item ducts there, which hopefully we can make. I think we can. Does require hardened glass, which is quite pricey, but not too expensive. For now, we will use basic servos, although I think in the future I will upgrade those. And then if we go extract, ignore redstone signal, and extract, ignore redstone signal, like so, we should see both the redstone and the sulfur getting piped round, and we should also see Pyrotheum Dust being created. We do, of course, have to power our pulverizer. Thank you to the Twitch chat for that one. Perfect. And so, yeah, we should see, again, the fact that we're using this basic tier of servo means that the redstone is coming in rather slowly. And in fact, we can probably, like, quickly swap this out. Like, we don't need... Because the blaze rods get pulverized into 5 blaze powder, and we need a lot more redstone, we could swap these out for now. Like that. That should mean more redstone coming in. And we're getting pyrotheum. We actually have a lot of pyrotheum. At which point, we can then, of course, take our petrified fuel generator and, for example, throw that down, let's say, right about here. And from there, we can do the exact same thing, have one more cable, one more servo, which I think we are going to have to make, but shouldn't be a problem. Do we have any invar? We totally do. Nice. And that should basically be automated power, right? Almost automated. And it does produce that 1200 hours per tick. Again, you can see we're producing a lot of pyrotheum here. And again, once we get faster servos, we can probably start to produce these, like, quite a lot of pyrotheum. We could probably, if we wanted to, run multiple petrified fuel generators off of a system like this. So that's pretty good. One thing we are going to have to do, I think, is by default, the petrified fuel generator is set to always active. I think we want to change that to active without a redstone signal. Right now, I'm going to set it to active with a redstone signal to basically turn it off. But I think what we're probably going to want to do is grab, for example, a comparator, which hopefully we can make with a little bit of redstone here. And then using the comparator in conjunction with the energy cell, we should be able to control the petrified fuel generator. So for example, if we make sure the back there is set to input, like that, that should begin to move the power, hopefully. Let me put it down like that. There we go. The back set to input. We should hopefully see... Or maybe do I have to... do I need a flux duct here? It's paused? Oh, does this not output when it's paused? Oh, that's weird. Wait, does that work? Oh. That's interesting. So it does disconnect the transfer there when it's not on. That's bizarre, but I think fine. Basically, all I'm thinking is that if we do this and we have a comparator down, this of course emits a redstone signal equivalent to the amount of power in here. So right now it's quite low. If we did, just a really simple system like this, of course we probably wouldn't want it right there. If we move the comparator to the front like that, and then did something, like this, and then we turn this to be active without signal, what should happen is it's going to start producing power. That power is going to fill up in the energy cell, and then over time, as the energy cell gets fuller and fuller, we should then see the power of the redstone increase to the point where eventually, if we back up on power and we have enough power, in our cube, it's then going to turn off the petrified fuel generator and stop it from burning the pyrotheum dust, because it does continue to burn the pyrotheum dust even when it's full, I believe. And so yeah, that's the idea. Like I said, this setup here can obviously be condensed to be a good deal smaller, I think. And we are probably going to want to start looking at better kind of energy conduits, right? Right now, these can only transfer 1,000 redstone flux per tick. And going forward, if we're going to be producing, 1,200 RF per tick in the Petrified Generator, we're of course going to want to increase that, right? We're going to want to make sure that we are producing and be able to carry more redstone flux. You'll see that has got up to 2 there. Eventually that would loop around. For now, I'm going to put this back down over here so our system can keep going. Hopefully with the old lava generator there. But yeah, like I said, between streams, I'm going to go ahead and hopefully move a lot of this stuff into a new base. We can hopefully come up with a better design for this. And next stream, we might look at trying to get closer to automating the polymer clay, because that's something we are going to have to automate if we want the system to actually work. And we're probably going to do that via the use of some laser drills if we can. So those are also something that we're going to look at getting in at the next stream as well. Now that we have the power, we're going to make some polymer clay manually, get that ready to go, use that polymer clay to make that pyrotheum dust to make the power. Now that we have the power, we can then use that power to run a laser the laser drill, and then we can use that laser drill to generate polymer clay, right? And hopefully that system is kind of self-sustaining going forward. And we can also start to look at getting into to Chapter 5. Now that we've completed Chapter 4, we've been to the end, and we've unlocked the whole nuclear craft section of the quest book. But with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's stream there.